Hey everybody, welcome to the Goth and the Sloth. I am Matt the Sloth.
Oh, and I'm Luna the Goth.
This is going to be our initial podcast of what we hope to be a continuing podcast between two friends that live a country apart.
It's true.
And what's going on with our life. And we figured we'd start this first, I don't know, however many episodes it takes of this show to discuss the current pandemic, what's it doing in our lives, how is it changing our lives, and how we live as isolationists and hermits.
Good times. Yay, 2020.
Remember it was going to get better at the end of 2019. We're like, all right, that was a bad year, but 2020, it's going to be good. We're going to do it.
It definitely. I absolutely remember that. I remember being like, new year, new me. And then death.
I mean, it is a new you, as we discuss how life is completely different.
You're not
when
wrong.
We get into that.
You are not wrong.
Just maybe not the way you wanted to go about it.
No, not at all.
So I figured for this first one, we first should probably get a baseline so everyone knows who we are and what we're all about. So Luna, tell us about yourself. Where do you live? What's your life like? What do you do?
Well, I live in the beautiful city of Richmond, Virginia. I've only lived here for about 9 months. 9 months before a pandemic is a perfect time to move to a new city. Highly recommend. Yeah. Anyway, I do a lot of things. I am a dancer and aerialist. I teach aerial to adults and chillin'. So that's how I spend a lot of my time, training, teaching, whatnot. And then I do various other online mysterious things for money. Oh no, that sounded terrible.
She's part of the Illuminati. It's confirmed.
I meant like project management. It's so much more boring than how that sounded. What about you, Matt? Who you is?
So I'm currently residing in Denver, Colorado, born and raised, mostly in Thornton, but for the people that haven't been to Colorado, it's all Denver. For a day job, day to day, I work IT at a law firm. I won't say for legal reasons which law firm, but I'm IT at a law firm. But on the side, I'm in a band. I do my own YouTube channel, Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. The band is Leonardo. Let's get those plugs in there.
Oh yeah.
And I skate quite often with friends, and kind of always out and about and always doing new projects.
Yeah, Matt's basically a professional. Didn't you hand me a card that said professional nerd on it once?
I do have a card that says professional nerd.
Yeah, y'all. Matt's professional.
I do make a goal to myself to see at least 25 movies a year. So.
Hey, I would argue that, well, maybe I'm not the person to judge, but I would argue that that's not very nerdy because I love movies. But
it's true.
All right.
You're a film nerd too. It's okay. You can embrace it.
True. I love the arts. Do I sound pretentious enough yet? So, as Matt said, this is a unique time for the world.
Just a bit, yeah.
Everyone in it. We figured we'd do this thing because who lives through a pandemic? I didn't think it'd be us, but guess where we are right now. So the pandemic that is taking over the world tragically right now is COVID-19, the coronavirus, not the Chinese virus. And if you come at me with that bullshit, I'm gonna fight you. Okay.
Although I had an alternate name for it.
Oh, what's
not
that?
To introduce you. I want to call it the Mercury virus. Only because I hate that planet. It's the worst planet, and I think we should all give it a bad name anyways. So let's call it the Mercury virus. Mercury doesn't even have an atmosphere. That's a dumb planet. I hate that planet.
Maybe it's just a step ahead of all the rest. Like it's just hanging out, nude as hell, right all up in the sun's rays, freezing on one side, hot as hell on the other.
Exactly.
I mean,
But
all
yeah,
right. Well, if it makes you happy, Matt, mercury virus.
the mercury virus.
And,
But
and at least
yes,
it's not racist.
exactly. I wanted to have some people hate something that no one can really be like, well, don't pick on Mercury, man. Or like people can't get violent against Mercury. And if you did, I mean, that's one hell of an accomplishment.
I mean,
So
I think they deserve it if they do. Goodbye. Oh my God. Amazing. Actually, early anecdote, even though we haven't really gotten started yet, but I was talking through a job that I was doing. I was speaking with a random person in New York who said that they had the answer to this virus, and it was to spray disinfectant 4 to 6 feet around the perimeter of New York, about 6 to 7 feet high. And if we just cover all of that area in disinfectant, it will solve the entire problem.
I don't think that's how air works.
I don't think that's how anything works. I was
I
like, okay, thank you for submitting your question. Have a good day.
Wow.
Good
Yeah,
times.
that's some of the panic that everyone's going through and their weird answers for things.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so for a baseline, I figured maybe next week we'll do the news in this section, but right now, since we need to have a baseline, is where is your state at, considering what restrictions and what's going on, and where are your current fears lying?
Ooh, okay. So Virginia is, I don't know, I'd say like it's like in the middle of between all the states. Like there are states that are doing absolutely nothing, and there are states that are on full lockdown. And Virginia's not on full lockdown. Like we don't have a stay-at-home order. We don't have anything like that, but we do have all non-essential businesses are closed. Um, Essential businesses are open, which does include the ABC stores. So
Mhm.
that's something.
That's good.
um, Unfortunately, one of the bars that I work at uh, is closed. Well, is not closed. They've pushed everything to curbside. So a lot of businesses are trying to accommodate all of the rules with that. But essentially, we're somewhere in the middle. We're not shut down. We're not fully open. No one's really patrolling, telling everyone to go home. It's just, this weird middle ground. But that said, we don't have, I think our numbers are not very high yet as far as number of cases, confirmed cases, and number of deaths. I think we have 9 deaths in Virginia right now.
Yeah, I guess that should have been something we looked up before.
Yeah,
But,
probably. I don't know. But yeah, it's something like that. So
sure.
yeah, what about Colorado? Good old Colorado.
Good old Colorado. So we kind of got hit bad because of all the tourist mountain towns. It's actually not really in Denver too much, but all those towns like bumped up all our numbers. And so we are in the double digits of deaths. I don't know the exact number, but we definitely crossed into double digits. And we are on, as of 8 o'clock this morning, no, 6, because my phone woke me up with a stupid alarm that says we are on full stay-at-home lockdown, the entire state.
Oh yeah,
So
I did hear today that the governor
yeah,
shut y'all down.
that was the alert was more annoying because it wakes me up at 6 to basically tell you stay in bed.
That's true.
Like, I'm already doing what you're saying.
Leave me alone.
Denver was being more progressive and actually started the stay-at-home a day earlier, which started a really funny anecdote that they decided dispensaries, because weed's legal in Colorado, and alcohol were non-essential, and they were going to close them all. And they gave everyone like a 12-hour window
Oh my
to
God.
go through it. And it literally did the opposite of what they were telling you, because then everyone was conglomerating at liquor stores.
Of course. Panic
And so,
buy all the weed. All of it.
so 3 hours into that what do you want? We'll call it prohibition. They reversed it. It was a very scary time for the Denver prohibition for the 3 hours, but we all survived it.
I feel like that's gonna go down in like state history. Like, oh, remember that pandemic? And like at equal, like a 1,000 years in the future, they're gonna look back and it'll be like, oh, 2020, that was the year of the pandemic and the Denver
Yeah.
prohibition. Like, those are the things to remember about this year. It was wild, y'all. Like, I was watching, don't know that I mentioned it, but I moved here from Colorado. So I was watching all of my Colorado friends post about how crazy it is that the weed shops are closed and that all the beer is gone and what am I going to do? And then like 2 hours from when I saw that later, it's like, never mind. They are in fact essential.
They are
They will
essential.
remain open.
Yeah, I was mentally preparing myself to, at like by week 3, be drinking my 99 bananas that I bought once, and I used
Oh,
like 2 shots, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have this forever, and I
oh
guess I'll be
God.
drinking that. But I'm
And
okay
you'll
now.
have a headache for the next 10 years.
It's the worst. Ugh. But it's part of the Hufflepuff house drink, so I bought it once to make the house drink, and
Got
yeah,
it.
again used like 2 shots, and now I have a giant bottle of 99 bananas.
Well, anytime you're really ready to regret life, there you go. Just drink the rest of that. You'll be feeling great. So to
But
answer your second question,
yeah,
what am I scared and worried about? Well, a lot of things right now. Essentially, along with millions of other Americans, I have lost like most of my income overnight because like I mentioned, I teach and it is a non-essential business. So that is closed and schools are closed for the rest of the school year. So that job went bye-bye. And then, people don't have money to hire a freelancer.
yeah,
So it be scary times.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I mean, I keep, I don't love the whole generalizations of generations and stuff like that. Like, yes, I technically am a millennial. Do I always identify with all the generalizations? No. But, for funsies, they're there. And the thing with millennials is that, we tend to post memes that are always about death and dying and how much the world sucks because
Yeah.
we were promised the world and then it was snatched out from from under us around senior year to in college.
I was about to say it's been snatched twice from us.
Exactly. And here we go again. And so I think all of us are just like, yeah, I'm just going to buy more wine and do that, I guess. And then all of the Gen Z folks that I've had that tell me, you know, the millennials are so, what's the word? Entitled. Yeah, Gen Z will come at me with the millennials are so entitled and, they say they deserve this and that. And I was like, oh, honey, no. And then now Gen Z is like, wait, I was promised, jobs and going to school and student housing, and they're all being kicked out, which is
Yep.
awful, like truly
Oh yeah.
terrible. They're kicking all of these kids out of their dorms and just being like, sorry. And they have to go somewhere else. Like, it's true. I think we're just going to have such a jaded society after all of this. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be wild. I mean, anyway, that's my biggest concern right now is like economics. I think we're headed toward a depression. I think the government is slapping a band-aid on it,
Oh yeah.
and this is going to go on for much longer than they think it is. So,
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. Is it's the economic downturn. I think the virus essentially will burn itself out at some point. Obviously, everyone stay home, so it will do that.
yes,
But
please.
it will that won't be around forever. But the long term economic turmoil. Two people in my band have lost jobs already. One
Mhm.
guy is a cook, and they closed his kitchen, so that's not going to help. And the other, their business, where he was a warehouse worker, is closed down, so he lost his job. So
Mhm.
that's going to be the long term effects of this entire thing. I was reading something, and I don't know exactly where it was, and I didn't have time to spot check it because you got to do that with news these days.
It's true.
But they're saying there's a possibility that we could hit 13% unemployment,
Mhm.
which during the Depression, the Great Depression, it was 10%.
Mhm.
So we're looking at a bigger economic downturn than the Great Depression, and ones that went through the recession already know like how bad like you have to tighten everything down.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's
Yeah, I mean the Great Recession was you know, we were thankfully not the age we are now when we were going through that.
yeah.
So we were kind of cushioned from how horrible that was. Just a little. I mean, it definitely impacted us and our families for sure. But
Yeah.
we at least I wasn't the primary breadwinner at the time. Just through part of it, sort of. Now it's like I feel like we're just free falling.
Yeah.
like like it's all on you. If I don't have rent, uh sorry?
Yeah.
like
Well, and this feels more immediate than last time. Last time it felt very gradual, and eventually you kind of turned around. And you're like, oh, there's no jobs. Like I graduated in college in '07, so I went into the job market when there was no markets, and like, oh, awesome. But it didn't feel like we're heading that way. This is like an immediate, like within 2 weeks, the economy just went to shit.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it definitely
and
did. I mean,
so
my
that's
partner
that.
is a musician and works in the entertainment industry doing
Mhm.
like lights and sound and stuff, and that industry died. It's dead. Like there are no live shows anywhere. Not
Absolutely.
anywhere where people are responsible because a live show means people breathing on each other and that's exactly what we don't need right now. So it's like that entire industry. And if you think about how many people are employed for the live entertainment industry, it's a lot of people. And they're all completely out of work.
Abs- Absolutely. Like less of an impact, but still an impact is my band's entire not motivation, but our forward momentum
Mm,
totally got totally crashed. Like we had shows coming up. We were going to be opening for a live or a national touring act. We had other like pockets of things going on, and then all of a sudden, within a week, everything's closed, everything's done. Our entire momentum just went to nothing.
yeah.
And
So, in the spirit of this conversation, I did not mention that I am holding a glass of wine, and that is what's going to get me through this conversation. It's just so scary right now, y'all, and future us when we listen to this.
right. Which I think kind of moves us right into kind of the bulk of what we're going to do here, at least this episode, is what's the day in the life of being isolated going for you? What are you doing, and what's changed from
Oh.
day to day?
Well,
'Cause
actually, I guess I can't say that a whole lot has changed because I did work from home, when I wasn't teaching. Um, so I only work from home now. Um, and I'm clinging to any amount of income I can find. Like
mm,
if someone's willing to pay me to create a column in Excel, I will do it. Like let me know what you need. Like I don't care right now. I am not above work right now. Um but yeah, a day in the life is like it's me and my cat and my dog Banna and my cat Nisha. And we hang out. I wake up. I have decided that I need to take a shower whenever I wake up. Otherwise, I probably won't get out of bed. And then suddenly it's nighttime. And then why shower?
Right.
so, so I wake up, I take a shower, I uh, make some sort of caffeinated beverage. My beverage of choice is usually tea, but sometimes I drink coffee and then I vibrate for throughout the rest of the day. Then I sit at my computer and try to feel productive for a while. Um, yeah, I have like little adventures. I mean, I do have to walk my dog, and that's a reason to go outside. But then I'm like, outside, every surface is covered in viruses.
Unclean,
Yes.
unclean.
And wash my hands. As everyone knows, you should wash your hands. Please freaking wash your hands
Yeah.
for 20 plus seconds.
And
So
if you're in California, turn off your water while you're soaping up, apparently.
yeah, and well, everywhere really. So
Yeah.
save water, y'all. It's important. And who knows when they're gonna turn those pumps off. I mean, I'm really kind of bleak about this stuff. I kind of think we're headed towards the apocalypse. I'm like, oh, power, that's nice for now.
For now.
Exactly. We should add some music under that. But but yeah, I don't know. Like it's just I had like this whole system in place where I was tracking my mood, I was tracking what I was eating, I was working out regularly, and now I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm gonna eat pasta for 10 days straight. Like, and do one push up. That's not true. I led a virtual online dance class last night, but still, like, it's just kind of wake up and roll with the punches and pray that another client doesn't drop off.
Right. I think that's why it's kind of cool that we're doing this in a way too, because we're seeing this from two completely different aspects.
Hmm.
Because being IT, we are incredibly busy. I went quite the opposite route. And that's why this show is actually being pretty cathartic for me because last week it was coming in early, staying late, and only getting like short lunches. Like it was go go go, and I didn't even have time to think or process what was even going on because it was like I get off work, I'm so tired, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and then you sleep and wake up and go back to work, and
Ugh,
it was a whole thing
it's the
because my
grind.
yeah we had a whole lot of people that were not prepared to work from home in any sort of sense of the word.
Oh
And
no, you are one of
they,
those companies.
oh yeah. So let it be known that legal assistance tends to be a job for older females. And
Hmm.
just even the idea of working from home is completely foreign and weird to them. Like that,
Yeah.
it's just, I wouldn't want to say necessarily a generational thing as much of just a, just I don't know. People didn't think about that being a thing
Well,
for a
I would
long
say that
time.
like the law industry, I don't know, but like law firms, they're like the oldest of the old school, like
Yeah,
the oldest. Like they're an old ass institution by old ass white men, and that's who
yeah.
runs it, and that's who wins in that industry. And that, like, they're used to having a brick and mortar building where you show up at your job and you sit in your office and you work away and then you leave. And it's like, I could see why it would be the last one of the last industries to embrace working from home, when really, I mean, why couldn't they, of all the industries? Like, it's a
Oh,
lot of working on your computer and research and working with another person, but you don't necessarily need to be in a really expensive office anyway.
yeah. No,
I'm going
that's
to
a
let you continue.
no. That's exactly it. It's because when you think about like dressing up for a job interview, the kind of standard is working at a law firm. Like, what do you wear when you work at a law firm?
Hmm.
Suit, tie, and jacket, and all that. Um, and that's exactly it, is that we have really nice buildings and it's just you work when you come to work. Now a lot of our younger attorneys already embraced taking their laptop home, and they just always work, and that's the easiest way to have a work life balance is to take it home. but it was a lot of the legal assistants and a lot of the older attorneys that didn't embrace it. So we had to and they were just shoved like overnight, like, nope, now you're working from home. And it became like, oh no.
Oh, panic.
And so, yeah, that was it was a giant shift, and a lot of work to get everyone on board.
Yeah. Oh
And so
man, I
that's how
can't
my life.
imagine. Are you still working those crazy hours right now?
Yes and no. It's not quite as like we are panic and you have to do it. But if you want to chip in a little extra, we're slowly getting back to normal because it's been 2 weeks now. Well, at the end of tomorrow will be, end of week 2 of doing it. And I think everyone has figured out working from home. I mean, if it takes you more than 2 weeks to figure out how to work from home, yeah, I think you got some bigger
I
problems.
don't know. I worry about some people. One of my clients is a very big company. I'm not going to say more than that, but they are run by a lot of older gentlemen,
Ah,
and they are struggling a little bit to figure it out. But I mean, they got there, and those that won't get there, frankly, will lose their job first. So, I
yeah, it's
mean,
kind of where it's at. Yeah, you got to
yeah, and I mean,
adapt.
it doesn't that's not great. Like, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. Like,
Right.
that's just the reality of where we're at right now. Like, people are losing their jobs, and the people that can't work from home are going to lose their jobs sooner than others, which means we're going to have so many older Americans that are completely screwed by this. I mean,
Yeah.
completely. Anyway, yeah. More depressing things,
Right.
which is frankly kind of the point of this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's for us to process the weirdness of living through a pandemic, and then also like, oh, I have a thing.
Yeah,
So um today I decided that I needed to go to the store, which I did. I mean, I was running out
yeah,
of everything, and it is an essential outing. I know that everybody wants you to like not go outside, and I agree. I didn't want to go out there either. But I tried to order my groceries online, and it would get here on like Monday, and I was, which is like 4 days from now, and I was like,
yeah.
um no, I need to eat before that. Because I'm not used to planning ahead and being like, oh, I need to shop 4 days ahead, like of schedule. So in the future, I will totally order my groceries online. But for today, I had to go. And I went out, and it was such a terrifying experience. There are so many humans breathing all over the place, touching things. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to use this basket. And then, like, I picked it up, and I was like, "Oh no, my hands are unclean," which they already were because obviously
Yeah.
car, whatnot. Um, and then I go around and I try not to touch anything, but then I'm like, I need it. But what if I don't want that one? It was a very anxiety inducing experience. But I eventually did buy all the things, and I came home and I took everything off, like showered, washed my hands 400 times, unpacked everything, washed my hands more. I should have Lysoled it all, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, so I went out into the big, brave world out there, and it was not great. I don't want to go back out there anymore.
No, I mean, that's a huge shift in the day of life right there, is just grocery shopping. I've been on, kind of a restricted calorie diet. And so I don't want to keep extra food in my house because I'm going to eat it if I keep extra food. So
Right.
I want to keep it week to week as much as I can. And I usually go into the grocery store with a very set plan. Like, I'm going to get these things. But now it's become like, well, if I can't get that, what's plan B and what's plan C? Because I don't know about your stores. Ours, they're getting restocked pretty quickly, but it's very disturbing to see aisles completely empty. And you
Hmm.
go to get, I don't know, a bag of frozen vegetables, and the entire freezer section is completely empty. and
Yeah.
it's disturbing in a lot of ways.
It's freaky. Like, and I think what adds to it is that, like you mentioned, this is about week 2. We're on week 2 of kind of the world starting to realize how crazy this is. At least by the world, I mean America. It's been crazy in China for a hot minute. And we should
Yeah.
have known anyway. I'm not going to start. But it's like, oh, there's this crazy virus. And I saw it in the news and I was like, oh no, apocalypse. And then no one else was reacting. So I was like, oh, maybe I must be overreacting, not the apocalypse. 6 months later, apocalypse. So here we are. But um yeah, I think the freakish part is that it's like the second week and it's still like that. Grocery stores still look like that because anytime they restock, it's immediately gone. There's restrictions on everything. You can have one package of meat, one or two packages of bread, two packages of eggs, one, I think it's one or two cleaning supplies. Like there's limits on, I think Wegmans had a limit on how many canned beans you could get. Like it's almost like we're not quite
Yeah.
at rationing people,
Right.
but it's a weird time and it's constant. It's every day.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing too is like you mentioned rationing, but it's not like our supply lines or we're having a food shortage of any real proportion. It's everyone just being like, "Well, I need this," and it becomes, what I need, and like
Hmm.
and that's one of my fears I should have brought up earlier though too. It's the panic of people that
Yes.
becomes very scary, and that's where you see it the most is in the grocery store because mine, luckily, knock on wood, hasn't been busy, but you can tell like they've gone through busyness,
Oh
and I've
yeah.
and it gets it gets scary when you're just like, well, I just wanted, I wanted some ramen, and the
Right.
ramen is just gone,
Yeah, we're
and
used to living in a society where everything is available. I mean, Amazon
yeah,
Prime, we're used to getting things in 2 days or less, and now they're only delivering, essential. They're prioritizing household items. They'll send you other stuff, but not in 2 days. Um,
yeah,
you'll be lucky if you get household items in 2 days, depending on where you live. It's everything has changed, and it's one of those things that it feels like a huge difference, and it's hard to put it into words how big of a change it is. But it
mm,
is like we live, like you said, we go to the grocery store, expect to pick up a few things, come home, do whatever, go back in a couple days, not a big deal. But there are people that go to the grocery store every day, and now that is not a recommended reality.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
actually we would be amiss if we did not mention the great toilet paper incident of 2020. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's a group of humans, I guess, a part of society, some percentage of society that believes that you can fight mysterious viruses with lots of rolls of toilet paper. It was
well, it's
the first thing that was gone.
that's actually kind of a perfect like representation of how panic builds.
Mhm.
Somebody got it in their mind, a very small group of like, I need to make sure I'm stocked up on toilet paper and bought. And then people see that and go, oh, maybe I should get toilet paper too because they're getting toilet paper. And then
Mhm.
it becomes like a giant rush on toilet paper when there's like
Which is
so
hilarious.
many
I mean,
alternatives to all. If you really ran out of toilet paper and is an emergency, like every bathroom's got a shower
yeah,
usually
take a
close to it
damn shower, a
if
bath,
you
like
had to.
figure it out. Get some wet wipes. Like we've all gone camping, most people. Come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, I lucked out because way before this even started, I ended up buying like a 6 pack of like the mega rolls without even thinking about it. I was just like, oh, this will be fine. And like, that's going to last me probably till next year because I live by
Yeah,
myself. Like,
right. And you're a
I'm going to be
dude.
okay. Yeah, I'm a dude.
There's that part.
And so, yeah. And like, but yeah, that was insane. Just everyone like toilet paper's the rush. That's what we
Yeah.
need.
And then all paper products after that. And
Yep.
then bread. And then
Bread, yeah.
eggs.
Eggs. Oh my God. Why eggs go bad, people? You can
In
only buy
America,
so
they do.
many. Ugh. I
It's
mean,
weird times. It's weird times.
it's yeah, you can't get into that panic brain of people or something. I don't know.
And speaking of the panic, like I'm genuinely worried about looting.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
if we, not right now, like I mentioned, Virginia's not on any sort of lockdown. If we were on a lockdown, I wouldn't quite worry about it either. But if we go on like a national lockdown where the National Guard is in the streets, like keeping people at home, I think people are going to start getting desperate, and I think they're going to start doing stupid stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and if that's the case, we're not going to be making this podcast anymore because I will be gone. The first side of that, I will just be, you won't be able to find me. I'll be off the grid. Be like hiding out. I'm gonna be like Jungle Luna. Not that there are any jungles. I'll be Mountain Luna. These aren't mountains. Oh, I'm failing at this. Hill Luna.
Hill Luna. Be part of the hill folk.
I will. The hills have eyes. My eyes watching you. Not be stupid. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, that's the American mentality, though, too. If you're just like, stay in the house and they actually roll out cops and things to do it, that's when it's going to be crazy and go down. Like,
Yeah.
we likes our freedoms.
Yeah. I did think that it was really funny. Okay, so um in the spirit of a day in the life a section of our podcast, day in the life of the pandemic for me, actually just yesterday, I think, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? So I've been having this saga in my apartment, which I've called the poop sink saga. And it is not because anyone has decided to take a dump in my sink, but it's because the crappy see what I did there? The crappy like plumbing of this place, for whatever reason, like sewage water would bubble up through the drain of my sink. And a couple weeks ago, it filled so much that it started overflowing uncontrollably, which
Oh.
was awful. They came, they fixed it, they went away, and then a couple days later, it happened again. And I am not a fan. It is it is quite possibly one of the worst plumbing incidents I've ever come in contact with. So I have been, I think, like, that's another reason I had to go to the store. I had to buy more like bleach and disinfectant and stuff because
Oh,
I
yeah.
let everything in my kitchen sit in bleach. Then I cleaned that. I did this 3 times, let it sit in bleach, cleaned it again, and sit in bleach, clean it again. Then I like let all that dry. Then I cleaned it down with a different cleaner. I've like I've scrubbed every inch of my kitchen, and I still won't let anything sit in the sink. I just like
Jeez.
wash it and put it on the counter in the dishwasher. So like things are getting strange on not quarantine. I'm not on quarantine, but just in
Yeah.
this pandemic, like everyone's at home. So now all the plumbing's going, everything's just wrong.
Yeah, no, from an IT side, like WebEx has been maxed out because everyone WebEx meetings now.
Hmm.
So like people complain to us like, oh, it's not working. It's like, that's literally the best we can tell you the best times to try and do it, but you're not going to want to have a meeting at 3 a.m. But
Yeah.
like it's just everything's maxed out because we had to shift on a dime almost as an entire country to work from home, everyone that
Yeah.
could. And
Which excuses the poor quality of the sound of this podcast because we are not in the same room.
we are not. That'll be the excuse. Yeah, there we go.
Shush, shush, shush. I already said it was an excuse. Don't add sarcasm. Let me lie. Let me lie to the people. No, I mean it's poor sound quality because yours truly is doing the editing, but also because we are not in the same room, so
No, we
we're
are.
relying on the internet for us to talk to each other, and
Yeah.
so
The internet that became such a cesspool is now become our lifeboat.
oh my god, speaking of cesspools, um I don't, okay, I am thinking about not saying this actually. I might take this out later, in
We
which
can
case
always
I will
cut
take
it
it
out.
right.
Yeah.
I'll cut it out here, and now you'll just like worry about what it might have been.
All right.
But like, I don't frequent Pornhub. I don't. Not interested. But there someone posted online, like, go look at the Pornhub main page and see what it says. And I couldn't resist. So I went. It was stay at home hub. Like, and they changed their logo because so many people are stuck inside.
Yeah.
And like they're doing so well right now.
Oh yeah. No, if the next thing that we're gonna have a big run on is gonna be lube and or hand lotion.
Yes. Yeah, so much. I think that someone needs to market like biodegradable, really like environmentally friendly like jizz rags so that people stop using toilet paper.
Maybe that's the run on the toilet paper. We
It's the
cracked the
only
case.
it's the only explanation that makes sense.
Come on, people, use your socks. We all did it.
Right? And we still have washing machines for the time being before we're gonna
Yeah.
have to wear like animal pelts. So use that. Use a rag and use a washing machine and wash your damn rag, or use your sink and wash it in the sink. Come on. We can
Although
do this.
it does bring up an interesting point. If you decide to keep this in, I'll be honest and put this out there though. But a couple of sites that I would frequent haven't done updates this week.
They haven't?
They have not.
Huh.
And I think the porn industry, at least for new stuff, is going to be hard to come by because that's nothing but sharing fluids.
Oh no. The porn industry is going to continue on. I'm sure that during
Oh,
the Spanish flu in whatever year that 1918 or whatever that was, that 1918 bitches were still fucking 1918 dudes. Like, I don't think that that's going to stop. But they might have trouble like uploading it maybe, or like, I don't know. That's a good point though.
I don't know. It'd
Especially
be interesting to see if they'd make new porn. Like, we got plenty of porn to last us for a
Pornhub
while.
definitely had coronavirus porn. Someone sent me a screen grab and it was really funny. So they were still making porn about it.
Oh yeah, no, there's coronavirus porn now. Absolutely.
Oh my God. I
not
hope
to
my mom and
not
dad
to
never listen to this.
well, we'll make another edit point here and we won't discuss porn any further, just in case you decide.
Yeah. And no more porn talk here. Okay. So you potentially missed the funnest conversation of all. Anyway.
All right. So let's end this on positive since we went super dark. Is what's something you're doing to distract yourself? What's been your fun distraction?
Oh, I know. So I, as most people in a relationship, have mooched off of every possible streaming service. Hey, we go both ways, all right? But my partner currently has CBS All Access or whatever. And
Perfect.
so, and my partner, just for whatever record, my partner is not in my apartment. So I'm still by myself in this apartment.
Okay.
And I have been watching the Picard series.
Oh yeah, I was actually just watching that before we started.
Which episode are you on?
The one where he meets up with Riker and Commander Troy.
Yes, I had so many feels. Yeah, so not really any spoilers because they advertised that like well before the series started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm super behind, so yeah.
Yeah, not really. You're only like 3 episodes behind. But so I started watching a little bit before all of this stuff happened. I had started rewatching The Next Gen. And so
Nice.
Picard was happening. I was like, oh, snap. So I started watching that. So that's kind of been my, like, at the end of the day, when I'm starting to feel the panic set in, I had like a box of Vienna Fingers, which is one of my favorite store-bought cracker cookies. And I would like take 4 of them and then I would separate them and then smush the sides with the filling in together. So it's like a double stuffed Vienna finger, and then eat the other ones. And then I would sit in bed and watch Picard and feel a lot of emotions about the show, not about the show, all of those things, and eat my cookies. And that's been kind of nice. Yeah. What
Very
about
good.
you?
Uh, well, it's been a little bit hard for me. Like I said, it's been so busy that like I haven't gotten to engage in the funness that people have been having. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch all the Fast and Furious now or whatever people
Hmm.
are doing. So I've barely been able to keep up with my normal watch schedule because I watch a lot of shows.
Yes, you do.
I'm the only person on this entire planet that watches every single Arrowverse show.
Yes, he
So
is.
keeping up on all those. I'd say although what I've been doing is ordering food more, which is a it's a
It's
thing.
like a good thing and a bad thing.
Exactly. Which like my other distraction on top of that is I always told myself if I got to work from home, I would work out during lunch because it's hard to do that in the office because you don't got time to change, work out, shower, come back up within my hour lunch. But if I'm at home, no one cares if I come back from work or come back from lunch sweaty and gross.
Right.
So I've been
Yeah.
so I work out during my lunches as part of my distraction, but then yeah, I've also been on the flip side of ordering food. And but for the first time ever, I got to order from the Philly cheese place that I can literally throw a rock at and hit, and I can
Oh,
order delivery and not feel bad because
that's
it's
true.
like I can't go in, so just like flag them down, like, hey, meatball sub. And I found a place. I found a place that does grilled nothing but grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, and
Whoa.
it's amazing because they're really good grilled cheese. Like the one I ordered had 3 different cheeses. Don't remember what they were. Bacon and a fried egg, and it was
Ooh,
amazing.
that
Like
does sound amazing.
like everyone's like, just make a grilled cheese sandwich. Well, they
It's
make
not
it
the
better.
same. Yeah. No, I feel that. I actually ordered a Witch delivery the other day, and
Nice.
I usually would not bother with that sort of thing. But I was like, I want stuff and I need groceries, and I don't feel like cooking right now, and the world sucks. And so I ordered that, and they came with my BLTA, and I was like, give me this delicious sandwich. It was delightful. You're right. I actually have been ordering delivery a little bit more often,
I think a
and
little
I'm
bit of
not mad
comfort
about it.
food. Yeah, being a little bit of comfort food helps, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God. Seriously, the pasta thing. Oh, I've been cooking a lot too. That's been another
Nice.
distraction, just like out of necessity. And I do enjoy it. It's just usually I'm busy. So it's like whatever's faster. But
Hmm.
I made some pasta, and I forgot how delicious it was. It was so good, and now it's all I can think about. Like, I literally just ate some before we started recording, and I want more. It's a
I actually,
problem.
well, when you said that, I was like, man, next week, even though it's not diet wise, I should just get, if they have it, just a big box of spaghetti noodles and Prego sauce from like when I was a kid, and you just dump that on there, and just to
Mhm.
go back to that time, like garbage tomato sauce. And,
God. Hey, that stuff
uh,
is cheap, it feeds you, it stays, like, now's the time. I was like,
oh, absolutely.
peanut butter sandwiches, like, grab some bread if you can get some. There's always peanut butter, like, throw some peanut butter on some bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this
Uh,
wine made me a little hungry.
but that was kind of interesting about my last grocery trip, though, because they're missing so much stuff. I'm pretty new to cooking. It's been about a year since I decided to learn to get into cooking,
Yeah, I'm so proud of
and
you.
oh, thank you. but but it became like a well, okay, so I can't get that. What can I do? It's like, oh, they're out of ground beef. I need ground beef. They have flank steak. I have a food processor. I can make ground beef. Like
Yeah.
that would have not occurred to Matt 2 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It is a weird time, like, with just figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's end this on what we're gonna call our hermit level.
On a
So,
scale from 1 to 10, Matt, how much of a hermit have you been?
um,
Let's say for today or this week, since we'll do this weekly or
yeah,
whatever.
we'll do this week. So is 10 the max hermit level, and 1 is like you're a social butterfly and you went to pubs and
Other way around.
other way
Wait,
around
no,
that?
you're right. No, you're right the first time. 10
Okay.
is super hermit, and
Okay.
1 is like social butterfly.
Okay. I'd say honestly, if we're going like Friday to Friday or whatever, probably maybe a 4. I'm bad. Last Friday, I went over to my good friend Fiona's house, and her sister was there, and we all drank and played board games and
Oh, that's
had it
delightful.
had a bit of a dance party.
You guys should
Uh,
FaceTime me when you do that crap. Anyway, I'll also use this podcast to guilt him.
there
Anyway.
you go. And then it was my dad's birthday, so I went over to their place the next day.
Aw.
And this is all before lock down your doors. Although yesterday we had band practice still because we just have to. I mean, 2 of them lost their jobs. Like, we got to get the rock out. And I
Yeah,
think if all of us, since they lost their jobs, they're quarantined. I'm quarantined, essentially working from home. We only have one guy who actually physically goes into work, so it's sort of like he's the one mostly endangering us. But it's like,
yeah.
if a quarantine person gets in their car by themselves and goes to another quarantine person's house, is that really that bad?
I mean,
Because
as long as you guys aren't going anywhere else either. Like, if your
exactly,
houses are
yeah.
clean, if you didn't go to the store and touch a bunch of stuff and then touch your face and then get the virus and then sneeze on people, then yeah, you're probably fine.
And that's exactly where we're at, though. Is just we go from our house to where we jam, which is another house, and
Yeah.
we're not in there interacting with the public or anybody else. So we still get the jam out, and hopefully we're gonna be doing some more streams, and hopefully
Yeah, that was
fixing the audio.
fun. I had so
So
much fun. Excuse me. I had so much fun. Sorry, I had a lot of wine.
So I would say I've actually been fairly busy. That's obviously going to start tapering off a lot. My parents said don't come over now that the thing's in place. So
Yeah, and
that's going to taper way off.
yeah, you would definitely want to keep your parents safe. That's like the big thing going around right now is like everybody's got to watch out for their older family members because they're a lot more vulnerable than we are. Even though there have been a lot of young deaths
Oh,
so far.
absolutely. But yeah,
So,
my dad has a compromised immune system. He's had various surgeries that took out major organs, and so he's up and around and doing everything he's doing. He's great health, but it doesn't take much to flip that back on the other side.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you
yeah,
definitely
so it's
not worth the
essentially
risk.
like stay away now. But so yeah, I'd say about a 4. I've been actually kind of getting around and
All
about.
right. So like you're wearing a robe, but not all the time.
Yeah. Although I did our first video chat meeting for my team, I actually got a smoking jacket. I put the camera and aimed it at my fireplace. I filled a martini glass full of water because I was at work technically. And I was just laying back the
That's
whole thing.
amazing.
So that's been fun.
Oh, I love that. That's so great.
So
Um,
where are you at hermit wise?
let's see. I think that I've actually done kind of well this week. I mean, grant I haven't been socializing with anyone in person. So as far as like online interaction, I don't really count work stuff because that's like to make a buck, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
absolutely, yeah.
that's not really like me socializing for fun. I think that I did teach a dance class last night virtually. So
Hmm.
that was interacting with people and that was fun. Um it was free, so I guess that doesn't count as work. uh I don't count you and my partner cuz that's not really fair. um I'm trying to think outside of that have I socialized with like anybody? I have
Oh
been
no.
so I haven't like I don't know. I feel really, really exhausted because I've been like waking up, working, or just trying to work, trying to find work, and then going to bed. But I have been like posting on my Okay, I'm like up there. Like I'm like an 8 right now. 'Cause I'm counting posting on my Facebook story as socializing with but I have I haven't sometimes I go through dry spells on social media and I just like don't. But I have been posting on Facebook on my Facebook story. I've been like responding to messages, which I never do, and been on Twitter, which I don't know how to Twitter. It
Ah.
is not a world that I understand, but I go on there and I press buttons and I don't know. It's a presence. You can follow me if you want, but it's not going to be exciting. I don't even know my Twitter handle. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm gonna pull that up here just so.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at LUNA_MINUIT, Luna Minui. And
Which is
that is,
funny because I know how to Twitter, but I don't know how to Instagram.
oh, I can Instagram all
And
day long. I
see,
just also don't because again, I go through like little pockets. The thing with this whole pandemic situation and like the social impact and the social distancing is that like I typically distance myself socially. So now is the time where I have to force myself not to do that so that I
right?
don't just like disappear into the ether and people are like, wasn't there a girl named Luna around? So yeah. I'd say a
That
solid 8, unfortunately. I thought I was doing better and then I thought about it and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing
and
very well at all.
we're just on separate spectrums here,
Yeah, you're the social butterfly and I'm the recluse.
which is funny because it's usually the opposite. I'm
Is it?
usually the
I don't know.
one.
Yeah, I guess sometimes I get like really excited and oh, but this weekend was supposed to be Dark Side of the Con, which is
Oh,
an amazing, super fun goth con in the US, probably one of the bigger ones, certainly on the East Coast. And it was going to be so much fun. I was going to be performing with my friends, the Goth Sloth gals. We were going to do aerial at the thing, and my partner was going to be performing, and it was going to be such a good time, and it got squashed for good reasons. We
yeah.
don't want to infect the world, but such a bummer. So yeah, I guess I would have been a super social butterfly this weekend. But
I mean, if we're gonna be bummers about stuff,
hey, we were ending on a
all
positive
right, we'll bring that. We'll do that next week.
note. Next
But
week, Matt's gonna lead with a bummer. You guys excited?
so actually, it'll be more apropos next week. Anyway, so so yeah,
So
I
where can
guess.
we follow all the people and all the things?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at wizard_Matt. And also if you do want to check out my band, we're on SoundCloud, Leonardo Band. Um, your Twitter handle, since you don't even know,
I don't.
is at Luna_Minu. I always mess
Minwee,
up.
you can do this.
Minwee.
I
I
promise.
screw up your last name. Minwee.
Minwee. That's how you have to say it to make it feel better. But yeah, so it's the same as my Instagram handle, turns out.
There you go. So yeah, I don't really have a public well, I got my wizard cosplay because I do cosplay. So
He
that's
does.
just at wizard cosplay. Although I haven't been posting a lot on there lately, but this will
Whatever.
probably give me a time to like take stupid selfies in my costumes.
Oh my god, I've taken so many selfies. And I like I've literally been thinking about getting one of those ring lights and like a
Oh yeah,
stand for my phone. I'm not like an Instagram influencer. I'm like the opposite of that. I like this is not me. I don't sit there and take selfies. I don't like ever go get dressed up and take a picture just to do that and then take a shower. Like that is not my life.
yeah.
But I've been taking so many selfies because of this. I'm so bored halfway through the day. And I might be able to get better pictures of my cat.
There you go. So follow Luna on Instagram to get pictures of her cat.
Yeah, probably.
We haven't really set up any sort of social media presence for the show yet.
Mhm.
We'll do that at some point, I'm sure. But
At some point, and we'll also likely add a visual component because we're not in the same spot and we're doing this over video anyway. So We'll
Yeah,
probably release the video versions of this podcast at some point. I don't know.
we could. We'll figure it out as we go. This is the first episode. We don't know
Yeah,
what we're doing.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You don't care. I don't care. Whatever.
But I think thanks everyone for joining us for this first one. Join us next week. We'll be doing this weekly. And, this is the Sloth and the Goth, or the Goth and the Sloth, whichever way you want to put it.
Whichever one of us you value more. Put us in front. I'll sign off with saying, wash your damn hands, please and thank you, and goodbye.
Stay home and stay safe.